Hello, hello.
Mic test. Mic test.
Testing, testing.
Yellow.
Testing, testing.
Hello, testing.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Planning Commission here at the Barbara Lee Center, August 14 at 7 o'clock. We have a quorum, so let me read the disclosure here. Oral public comments may only be provided live during the Planning Commission meeting in person. All comments provided shall be limited to 3 minutes or less as determined by the chair. All public members will be limited to 1 comment per agenda item and 1 comment for non-agenda items. Members of the public may submit written comments by email to planningdepartment@milpitas.gov. The meeting will be streamed via Zoom for viewing purposes only. And to watch via Zoom, please consider going to the website of the milpitas.gov.zoom. You have that online. So I'm calling the meeting to order right now. May I ask Commissioner Calkins to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody rise. The United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I apologize. I don't have the gable, so I wasn't mad slamming on the table. So this time, my next agenda is Ms. Liz, the roll call, please.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners, community members, good evening. I will take attendance, starting with Commissioner Kong. Here. Commissioner Calkins.
Here.
Commissioner Gupta.
Here.
Commissioner Awasi is absent at this moment. Commissioner Galang.
Here.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby. Here. And Chair Albana.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Our next item would be, I will call and request Attorney Creech to declare our conflict of interest.
Thank you, Chair. I ask the Chair and every other member of the Commission whether he or she has any financial or personal conflict of interest related to any of the items on tonight's agenda.
Commissioner Kong,
None.
Commissioner Culkins,
None.
Commissioner Gupta,
None.
Commissioner Galong,
None.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
None.
Chair Albana.
None.
Thank you.
Thank you. I further ask the Chair and every other member of the Commission to please disclose any campaign contributions of $100 or more received within the last 12 months from any of the parties entering into contracts with the city on tonight's agenda, or contributions received from any development project applicant for development projects on tonight's agenda.
Commissioner Kong,
None.
Commissioner Culkins,
None.
Commissioner Gupta,
None.
Commissioner Galong,
None.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
None.
Chair Albana.
None. Thank you, Ms. Lees.
Thank you, Chair. Let the record reflect no reported conflicts. Commissioner Wasti, once you are seated, may I ask you the conflicts questions?
Of course.
Okay.
I'll teach him the.
And Commissioner Wasti, you'll need to push the button in this room to be able to answer on the microphone. Commissioner Wasi, I ask you whether you have any financial or personal conflict of interest related to any of the items on tonight's agenda.
None.
I further ask you to please disclose any campaign contributions of $100 or more received within the last 12 months from any of the parties entering into contracts with the city on tonight's agenda, or contributions received from any development project applicant for development projects on tonight's agenda.
None.
Thank you. Let the record reflect no reported conflicts.
Do we have to take the vote?
No, that's.
That's it. Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Commissioner Awasti. Okay, at this time, I would like to ask a motion to approve our agenda for tonight, for our agenda of August 14, today's agenda. You have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve today's agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Awasti, and seconded by Vice Chair Medina Aspi.
Commissioner Kong. Aye. Commissioner Culkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galong,
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz. Our next item here of our agenda tonight would be announcements. Announcements from any of the commissioners. We want to also welcome our planning department, Ms. Banwa, yes, in place of Jay Lee. So any announcements?
I would like to make an announcement, please.
Sure.
We have the city celebrating India's Independence Day on 15th of August at the Cesar Chavez Plaza. So everyone is welcome to attend. Thank you. Oh, it's at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Awasti. I'd like also to make an announcement. This will be also for the public and also the commissioners. It's very important to join the conversation, maintaining Milpitas quality of life. Please go to the website of milpitas.gov/join the conversation, because it's very nice to encourage the staff of the work that they are doing. At the same time, we know how the city is being revitalized. That's very important. And the public, the residents, you could give your comments, your positive comments that will have an impact to the city. That's very important. Please get involved and come and join our meetings also. Not only our meetings, but the meetings of all the other commissioners, especially which I would say you will learn a lot with the Main Street revitalization through the economic, they call it the Economic Development and Commission. Yes, thank you. Now, no other comment? Miss one more, planning director.
Thank you, Chair. So just two announcements this evening. If you haven't yet scheduled your one-on-one with staff for the comprehensive zoning update for phase 2, please do so with Ms. Medina. And then the other announcement that I have is we will be having a second Housing Opportunity Districts community meeting in this room, in the Senior Center Room 140, 141 on August 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. Thank you. That's it.
That's 6 to 8 p.m., right?
Yes.
Okay. August 26th.
And Chair, if I may, one announcement.
Yes, please. Attorney.
A reminder to the commission, if you haven't sent your certificates for AB 1234 training to Ben in my office, please get those in as soon as possible. If you have any questions or need more information, please feel free to contact me and I can help you.
Thank you, Attorney Creech. Good reminder. All right, our next agenda would be public forum. Let me read the declaration. Members of the public are invited to speak on any item that does not appear on today's agenda. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes or less at the chair's discretion. When called to speak, you are encouraged to state your name for the record. And as an item not listed on the agenda, no action can be taken. However, the Planning Commission may instruct the staff to place the item on a future meeting agenda. Is there any from the public would like to make any comment that's not on the agenda this evening? They're not having any comment. Let's move to the public hearing for the next item, which is item 8 for 8-1 time extension for a child care center preschool at 1000 Jacqueline Road. Will be presented to us by our project planner, Ms. Christina Fong.
Thank you, Principal Planner Van Hoa, and good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and members of the public. My name is Christina Fong, and I'm a senior planner here with the city. As mentioned, the item before you is a request for a time extension for a child care center at 1000 Jacqueline Road. Next slide, please. The application is a one-time request for an 18-month time extension until February 14th, 2026 for conditional use permit number UP 21-0003, minor site development permit number MS 21-0129, and a tree removal permit number EA 21-0031 to operate a preschool, Primrose School, for up to 266 children, ages 12 months to 5 years, and to allow exterior facade modifications, new outdoor playgrounds, landscape improvements, and the removal and replacement of 2 ordinance protected trees at an existing 24,269 square foot, 2-story commercial building that was formerly used as an indoor sport facility on a 1.14 acre site located at 1000 Jacqueline Road. The Planning Commission approved the 3 listed entitlements on August 24th, 2022, which are set to expire 2 years after the original approval date, which would be later this month on August 24th, 2024. The applicant, Amar Chakawala, on behalf of the property owner, PSLG LLC, applied for that time extension prior to the project's expiration date, which is allowed per Milpitas Municipal Code Section XI-10-64.07. If approved, the approved entitlements would extend for 18 months or until August 12, 2024. There's no changes to the scope or design of the project associated with this entitlement request. The applicant is working towards obtaining the required building permits to develop the project to commence the preschool use. The applicant requests this time extension because they need additional time to coordinate with the California Department of Social Services Licensing Division, which has regulatory oversight for the proposed preschool. The applicant is actively working with the agency to approve the use for the outdoor covered playground area and must receive approval from this agency prior to commencing further review of the project's building permit applications with the city. The graphic shown here is a south elevation rendering of the proposed project, which will retain the existing color scheme and architecture. The covered playground area is, the state is reviewing will be located within the first floor of the existing building on the right side of this building elevation within the existing half circular shaped openings. The project will utilize the existing building design and will open up these domed walls to create a covered playground area that will be enclosed by a 4-foot high stucco wall with an additional 4-foot tall metal mesh screen. And for additional context, the California Child Daycare Facilities Act authorizes the State Department of Social Services to administer licensing matters for childcare facilities operating in the state. As part of this licensing authority, the department is vested with the power to adopt regulations necessary to implement the act. And these include items such as the number of toilets and sinks that must be provided based on the number of children served and outdoor play area required per child. These matters are regulated by the state of California and are outside the Planning Commission's purview. And in this image, we see the satellite view of the property. The parcel boundaries are shaded. The project site is located in the southwest quadrant of Interstate 680 and Jacqueline Road. Next slide, please. This map demonstrates the project site zoning as highway services and the general plan designation as neighborhood commercial. The surrounding properties are zoned highway services and administrative and professional office. Next slide, please. The proposed project will renovate the existing building that has the partial second floor that will also be utilized for the proposed school. The existing clock tower structure on the project site will not be impacted by the project. This is the first floor plan shown in this graphic. The second floor will be open above the covered playground area, as shown on the bottom right of the floor plan, and over portions of classrooms C1, C2, and C3 in the top right corner of the building. The proposed TI improvements on both floors will total approximately 9,430 square feet and will include 14 new classrooms, some restrooms, a reception area, offices, conference rooms, storage, training spaces, laundry rooms, and a warming kitchen to serve 4 meals a day to the children, including breakfast, lunch, and 2 light snacks. And in this graphic, you can see the 5 proposed outdoor play areas, 3 by the north elevation of the building and 2 on the south elevation that will be covered and is the one that's awaiting approval from the California State Department of Social Services. Next slide, please. And this is a site plan of the project site, and we'll briefly just go over the access and circulation and the proposed site improvements that were previously approved. As noted, this is close to Interstate Highway 680 and Jacqueline Road. The project will utilize the 4 existing shared driveways, 2 on Jacqueline Road and 2 on North Hillview Drive to the west of the site, which all provide multiple routes for parents and guardians to access the facility. On-site circulation and drive aisles have been reviewed by department staff, including the city's transportation engineer, to ensure that ample access and spacing requirements for fire truck access and solid waste management are adequate. A traffic operations analysis report was conducted for the project. The report reviewed trip generation, impact analysis, parking and site circulation. In conclusion, the proposed project is consistent with the land uses permitted by the City of Milpitas general plan and is not expected to significantly impact the level of service in the immediate vicinity. And due to the landlocked nature of the parcel, the applicant has obtained pedestrian access rights through the adjacent westerly property, which can be seen on sheet C2-2 on the project plans. Pedestrian access to this building would be provided via a new pedestrian access path from existing sidewalks on North Hillview Drive. The existing parking areas will also be resurfaced and restriped to accommodate 42 parking spaces. The signage for the loading and unloading spaces will have permanent signs, and the city's planning department and the city's traffic engineer will review the design of the proposed pickup and drop-off signs prior to building permit issuance. This has been a condition of approval, and there will also be a new trash enclosure northeast of the building. Next slide, please. And to provide some more detail on the proposed playgrounds and landscaping, the applicant proposes to install 3 outdoor playgrounds totaling 3,163 square feet, which are located on the north side of this building, which will also be enclosed by a 6-foot tall iron rail fence. The other 2 proposed covered outdoor playgrounds will total 3,952 square feet, and will be enclosed by a 4-foot-high stucco wall with an additional 4-foot-tall metal mesh screen along the southeast elevation of the building. Regarding landscaping, the applicant will remove a total of 18 trees from the site. 2 of those trees are considered protected under the city's tree removal permit per Milpitas Municipal Code Section X-2-7.01. The removal of these 2 trees triggers the tree removal permit application, which was previously number TR 21-0031, and requires the applicant to replace those trees at a 2-to-1 ratio. The applicant proposes 4 new 24-inch, 15-gallon trees, which are identified on the project plans as sheet L3 with a star. The applicant will also add new planter beds along the building perimeter, the southern and eastern property line, and which will have various grasses, shrubs, and flowers. Approximately 16 other trees will be removed as part of the project, but are under the threshold to be a protected tree, and therefore they're not subject to the same 2-to-1 replacement ratio. The applicant proposes the same replanting plan previously evaluated and approved by the Planning Commission on August 24th, 2022. Next slide, please. And regarding some of the minor exterior facade improvements, the applicant will install 1 new main entrance along the northern elevation of the building, and the required emergency exit doors into the playgrounds and around the building to comply with the California Building and Fire Codes. The existing color scheme will be maintained with neutral earth tone colors as shown. Next slide, please. The zoning ordinance does allow for parking reductions to meet minimum parking space requirements using alternate strategies. Footnote 3 of the city's municipal code, table XI-10-53.09-1, allows for an exception for the loading and unloading requirements for childcare facilities, which can be reduced in the Planning Commission's discretion based on an empirical study provided by the applicant that establishes no adverse effects will occur as a result. The applicant has requested the reduction in loading and unloading requirements per the aforementioned section as part of the original planning entitlement by providing the empirical study, which was also previously reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission 2 years ago. A copy of the study, which is completed by Hexagon Transportation Consultants, is included as attachment 4. The Planning Commission, as part of this time extension, can reapprove the requested reduction based on the study, which demonstrated that the parking demand can be accommodated on site with 42 existing surface parking stalls, as detailed on pages 7 and 8 of the study. The study also used another local Primrose daycare location that's located in the city of San Jose in the Willow Glen neighborhood. For further details, I would refer to the staff reports on this. And additionally, approximately 26 employees will staff the preschool at any given time during the peak hours of operation, and the facility will have a maximum capacity of 36 employees. However, some of these will be full-time or part-time and will work in different shifts. And during peak drop-off and pickup times, the center staff will use a child care management software program on wireless tablets called ProCare. Each parent has their own code to allow contactless drop-off and pickup. Each of these drop-off and pickups will be completed within approximately 30 seconds to 1 minute. And we anticipate to have 29 pickup and drop-off spaces. Next slide, please. In terms of the operations, the proposed preschool daycare will have a maximum enrollment of 266 children, and the facility will be staffed by about 27 staff members at any given time. The hours of operation for the facility are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., and the center offers a variety of different programs, including half-day, extended day, and full-day services. As previously described also, the pickup and drop-off activity will be staggered according to different programs offered and will always be managed by staff members using the software previously described. Next slide, please. As proposed, the project includes a conditionally permitted child care center, preschool use within an existing facility in an urbanized area, a minor site development permit to allow minor exterior alterations to the building facade, including new playgrounds, landscaping, and parking lots, restriping and reconfiguration. The tree removal permit will also allow the removal and placement of true tree removal ordinance protected trees. The project is also consistent with the Milpitas general plan, childcare, and will not require a subsequent EIR or negative declaration. It's exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15301, and as a separate and independent basis, CEQA Guidelines Section 15183. Next slide, please. A notice was also published on the Milpitas Post on August 2nd and at City Hall and on the city's website. Additionally, public hearing signs were posted at the site and postcards mailed within a 1,000-foot radius of the site. No comments have been received to date. Next slide, please. And per Milpitas Municipal Code Section XI-10-64.07D, an extension for the approval of the project can be granted if the current findings for the project and specific type of permit are made by the decision-making authority. In this case, the applicant proposes no changes to the previously approved use and proposal, and the proposed project substantially complies with the previously approved entitlements. Therefore, the factual basis for the required findings for the listed conditional use permit, minor site development permit, and tree removal permit can be made. We'll briefly go over the findings for these. These findings are discussed in the staff report and are addressed in the resolution also. Next slide, please. And staff has confirmed that the project meets the findings associated with the conditional use permits as set out by the Milpitas Municipal Code. The proposed new preschool will serve the needs of the Milpitas community and includes design features to ensure no detrimental or adverse impacts on the property or improvements in the property's vicinity. As conditioned, the facility may accommodate no more than 266 children at one time. It will maintain designated loading and unloading parking spaces, and staff will ensure the orderly and efficient movement of vehicular traffic throughout the site. Additionally, the facility's operation will be required to maintain in compliance with applicable local, state, and federal laws, regulations, guidelines, requirements, and policies, and also the project's conditions of approval. The proposed project will also remain a legal conforming structure in compliance with the city zoning ordinance and does not propose an expansion of the existing building, and will be consistent with the Milpitas Child Care Master Plan by proposing a new facility within the city limits, and will provide additional childcare services to local residents and will accommodate the additional children. These findings can be found in both the staff report and resolution. Next slide, please. The exterior facade alterations are minimal and include new doors, windows, and wall-mounted LED lights, new landscaping, outdoor playgrounds, and a reconfigured parking area. The existing facade colors in light and medium tan shades, existing and finishes will remain. These alterations are compatible with other adjacent buildings in the area that consist mostly of smooth stucco finishes and will still retain earth tone colors on the exterior as required by the city's code. New landscaping added around the site and parking lot will also improve the aesthetics of the site. Various city departments have also reviewed the proposed plans for compliance with the applicable code and design requirements to ensure that the proposed layout and design of the buildings, structures, and landscaping for the daycare center will be compatible and aesthetically harmonious with adjacent and surrounding developments. Next slide, please. And in conformance with the city's tree removal ordinance, on developed commercial property, a protected tree is designated as one that has a circumference of 37 inches or greater, as measured 4.5 feet from the ground. The tree removal permit is required to remove any tree meeting this threshold and must be replaced at a 2-to-1 ratio on the property. The applicant has previously applied for this permit and has demonstrated compliance. As shown on sheet L3 of the project plans, they will remove 2 protected trees and replant 4 new trees. The applicant has also been conditioned under resolution number 24-027 to comply with this permit. Next slide, please. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission open and close the public hearing and adopt resolution number 24-027, extending conditional use permit number UP 21-0003, minor site development permit number MS 21-0129, and tree removal permit TR 21-0031 for 18 months until February 14th, 2026, subject to the findings and conditions of approval. This concludes staff summary of the project. I'm happy to answer any questions. Also, members of the applicant team are available to answer questions. In person, there is the applicant, Amar Chakawala, and his wife, Seema, and Anthony Ho from the architecture team, and Eric C. from the Hexagon Transportation Consultants are available virtually also for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, for that presentation. Christina, would you suggest maybe if the applicant would want to make their presentation? Are
Oh, yeah,
they going
they
to be
would like to
online
do
or?
a short
or
when you guys
here?
are. I did tell them it was in the senior center. There's no one there. Hmm.
Thank you. They're preparing the slides.
Okay,
Thank you, Christina. Awesome, awesome presentation. And I mean, while she's looking at the slides, Christina, so basically we are just doing the extension. No changes has been made when the commission had kind of approved this in August 2022, right?
Yeah, typically the code currently just allows a 2-year from the date of the original entitlement. Currently, the code allows a 2-year period for applicants to normally go through the building permit process, receive the permit, and either establish the use or start some type of construction. But within this time, it's typical that sometimes applicants have issues getting other permits or completing other items. So sometimes they need additional time. So this is the city offers a one-time extension if they go through this process and must be approved by the planning commission.
Yes, thank you for at least reiterating 2 years ago. We wouldn't remember as much, but it's basically the same. We're just extending it, right?
Yeah, just because another a state agency has further oversight of the project just because of the daycare use, so they want to just, I think, some
Yes, yes.
basic.
Thank you. So whenever the slides are ready, we are ready. It's all right. Take your time. Would I think you have to press your microphone, the button.
Sorry.
It's there. Thank you. Welcome.
So we have Anthony Ho and Eric Say from Hexagon, Anthony Ho from LPMD Architect. Both are online available. But the reasons for extension is that obviously construction cost loans actually kind of increased almost 4%. But the main reason is that we are working with licensing. Generally, what happens that you go to licensing after the construction is kind of done. But we learned in our another school we opened in Cupertino that where we ran into the problem with the licensing. We opened the school and they did not give us the license for number of kids that CT has approved. So CT has approved 154 kids, but we only got a license for 120 kids. And that is due to mainly the playground. So this time we are asking childcare licensing to bless the playground and the design and the square footage, so we don't run into the problem, because generally this construction costs $6 to $8 million. And then once you open the school and you cannot essentially put number of kids that require for you to run the school in order to make it break even, then it creates a lot of business problems. So that's the main reason we are asking for extension. Yeah, in this case, playground and building are interrelated because we are making covered playground. We are using part of the building actually to create a covered playground because building size is pretty huge. It's 24,000 square feet. The number of classroom square footage is only 9,300 square foot. So the rest of them, actually almost all, is going to be used by conference room, playground, kitchen, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is actually Christina asked me to put this thing just for your reference. We are owner of 2 operating schools right now. We have fourth one coming in a Thornwood area also, which is also at the planning. So we already successfully operate 2 schools. My wife, Seema, she runs those schools. So one in Willow Glen is 212, 34 staff member, 36 parking stalls. Cupertino is 154 number of students, 22 staff, and 20 parking stalls. So both are operated under the Primrose Schools as a brand. One is called Primrose School of Cupertino, other is called Primrose School of Willow Glen. Any questions? I'm probably not the best person to answer all the questions. That's the reason I brought the people around me.
Can I start with some questions?
Commissioner Gupta, go ahead. Any commissioners could follow after.
Okay. So I think just for clarification, the existing building, what I understand, has no windows.
Yes,
But you plan to
yes,
add windows as part of the
yes.
reconstruction. Okay, that's good. And currently you also have stairs going up, used to be a gym. And so how will the kids enter the building? Enter
No,
on the ground floor?
We will have we will have elevator in the building. We are going to put the elevator in the building. We are going to have stairs on both on front and back, because in order for fire department to approve, we need to create multiple fire exits actually. So the plan actually required 3 different stairs plus elevator in the building.
Okay, so kids don't really have to use the stairs. They can use the elevator, right? Okay.
Because the entrance will be in the front, actually, it's not on the side. Current existing building has a side entrance. Once this building is done, there is a entrance is in the front, where the parking is actually right now.
Okay. And the playgrounds you said they're supposed to be what, 3 playgrounds? And one of them is inside the building?
There are four playgrounds, if I'm not, 4 playgrounds. One is inside, which is a fire truck playground, which is I think 4,600 or some square foot of playground, or probably around 5,000 playground. That's the one that you see in the bottom.
Mhm.
And that is the actually part of inside the building. That's the playground.
And the other playgrounds, the other 3?
There is on top, you see it?
Yeah.
Top, that's also playground. On the side, there is also a playground. On the left, that's a playground.
So those playgrounds are outside the building?
That's the playground outside of it.
Okay, so right now it's all paved area and.
Yeah, that's right now it's all paved parking lot.
Right, so you're going to
Yes.
make playgrounds, okay. And one other question is regarding that tower. You currently have a tower and the lights on top of the tower, right?
We are nothing changing.
Yeah.
No exterior is changing.
Because the light on the top of the tower actually is supposed to be a very good feature.
Yeah.
Because that light, when used to work, was visible from far distance.
It will be like that. We are not changing anything. Actually, building exterior will look more beautiful.
Yeah.
Once it's actually kind of done. Then
I remember some homeowner, somebody told me, what happened to that light? We missed that light,
No, it will be all back to the same, its glory. I don't know the previous way how it looked, but it will look much better than what actually is currently looking.
Okay, I have no further question. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gupta. Any
Yeah,
Commissioner Galang?
yeah, I'd like to ask again, these conditions number 2, number 3, and number 4 for time extension request. This is the original conditions from the August 2022, correct?
For planner
Yeah. What is that?
Christina, if you can answer that.
Oh, so the resolution 24-027, the first condition of approval refers to the original entitlements. Yeah, the original approval and that original resolution number 22-012 that was approved by the Planning Commission almost 2 years ago on August 24th, 2022. That contains the original 46 other conditions of approval. And then just 3 other minor ones were added. Just after reviewing the project more, staff realized there was a requirement to add 3 short-term bicycle parking stalls to the project site based on the off-street parking section of the code. And it was also recommended in the project traffic report. The number 3 was added just to confirm that the applicant will comply with the tree removal permit ordinance. And number 4 was added to reaffirm that the applicant will maintain the landscaping and irrigation so that, it maintains a permanent, attractive, and effective appearance.
Yeah. What is the main reason for the extension? Can you show me on the slides?
What's the main reason for the time extension?
The main reason for the extension?
We went over that during this presentation, but the time extension is needed because it's a daycare use. The state has an agency that has a lot of regulatory oversight over aspects of the site, right? In terms of how much play area is needed per kid, how many number of restrooms and toilets and sinks and things like that. So the project applicant does need to get approval from the state on this proposed design prior to them being able to submit for building permits. And when this permit was approved, when this entitlement was approved on August 24th, 2022, that gives a 2-year time period that the planning permit is still valid. And within the 2-year period, normally we want applicants to receive an issued building permit and start some type of construction or start the use. But because the applicant is going through the state licensing process too, that is taking some time. So the applicant wants to extend their entitlement so that they can continue working on with the state and receive the necessary building permits.
If the applicant did not meet this until February 2026, can he still apply for extension?
So so the applicant did comply with the requirements. They did submit this time extension request before their expiration date happening later this month on August 24th. So that's why we are this public hearing for the time extension request will hopefully extend the entitlements for 18 months until February 14th, 2026.
What if the applicant did not meet or did not finish on the February 2026, can he still apply? That's my question.
He would have to reapply with new entitlements and pay, the full original entitlement fees. They're only allowed one-time extension.
I think Attorney Creed says something.
Yeah, Commissioner Wasti, if I may. Our code allows it sets time limits for these kinds of permits.
It was.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Glong, I'm sorry. Commissioner Glong, I apologize. I can't quite tell who's talking looking this way. So our ordinance sets time limits for all permits and approvals that are given under the code. In this case, it's a 2-year period. It allows for one extension to be given during that period. In this case, the request is for 18 months, which is consistent with the extensions that the commission can give. Once that extension has been given, no further extensions on that application can be given. So if they did not commence the activity as required by our code during that time, then they'd have to submit a new application, process that through, get new approvals at that time.
I mean, start over again.
Sure.
You just have to begin, but not necessarily complete the construction.
Correct. Our ordinance has a definition of when a project will be deemed commenced. Commencement of the project must be done within that time period for the approvals to stand.
Thank you for the clarification, Attorney Creed.
Thank you,
That's
Chair.
right.
Thank you.
We have a question from Commissioner Kong, please.
So I have a question for the applicant. Are you using the same architect to design the playground for the Cupertino site as well as Milpitas?
Yes, the same architect we are using.
So knowing the capacity constraints that has been identified from the Cupertino licensing issue, has that been considered and taken into account what needs to be adjusted in this design for Milpitas?
That's the reason of the delay because we had previously smaller playground that we actually had. We changed the playground size to meet the licensing requirement, and we are asking licensing to bless the plan before we submit something, because we don't want to get a building permit for something that we cannot, like childcare licensing would not approve.
Okay, so this design that we are seeing right now is already adjusted for
Yes,
the requirements, right?
That's true.
Okay, all right. So in the event that the state comes back and says that they still need additional adjustment, does this conditional use permit and minor site development permit, this question is probably for you, Christina, will it account for additional adjustments, or will that require another return to the planning commission, or will that be covered by this permit so that they can still make additional slight adjustment for playground if needed?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner, for your question. There are some provisions in the code for minor amendments and adjustments to the permit. It will depend on the entire project scope, but we consider playgrounds as an accessory structure. So they are not considered, aspects of the main building. So we consider those minor. We probably process those staff level.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Kong. Any other commissioners? Any comments? Or planning director? No comments. Let me ask Planner Christina. I just had a quick question for point of clarification. So at that corner of Jacqueline and Hillview, we know that it's just like, I'm sure you considered the traffic and the congestions there for the cars that are coming in through going to the high school, middle school, and Escuela Parkway. I hope that will be taken into consideration. So, because your start time is 7:30 to 6:30, I believe, right? So I think what's more important, the neighbors there would be, I just wanted to know if that was studied and with regards to the traffic impact at that corner.
Oh, yes, thank you for your questions. Yes, there was a detailed traffic report prepared for this project as included as attachment 4. And during this time, 2, 3 years ago, when this project was going through development review process, we do route these plans and reports to various departments, including the city's traffic engineer, who at the time was Steve Chan. And, the Steve Chan had worked with city staff and the applicant on reviewing the report and providing suggestions and recommendations for making sure that the site access and circulation was adequate. And the project would not have been scheduled back then for a public hearing until the report and site design and site access and circulation was deemed sufficient by the traffic engineer. On the line is also Eric C. from Hexagon Transportation Consultants, if he would like to add anything, but the traffic report did analyze this, and the city, we would not have taken this project for a recommendation 2 years ago if that study was not adequate.
Thank you. Another point of clarification is, what are the closest other daycares? Or possibly maybe it's not of the same age group at the other corner of the 680 and the junction 680 and somewhere by the Golfland area? Not at that corner, the other corner by 680 and towards going to the hills by Park Victoria. Are there any other daycares going on there? Just a point of clarification. But we love the project, having more daycares for our children.
As far as I know, because we look at the competition before we select the site, there is a daycare just next to it called KinderCare.
Yeah, that's also another one.
Yeah, but there is no major, because we compete with KinderCare, Bright Horizon of the world. So there is no any daycare which is in competition with the Primrose School, besides the KinderCare, which is just next door, which is on the same complex, by the way.
That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you. There are no other questions, commissioners. Maybe I can open it to the public. Public comments before we deliberate. Do we have any public comments online, Ms. Liz?
We have no public comments in chamber and we do not accept public comments online.
Oh, okay, all right. No other comments, commissioners? What? Do I get a motion?
To make a motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you. Second from,
I second.
thank you, Commissioner Galang, and seconded by Vice Chair Medina Aspi. We take a vote.
Commissioner Kong,
Aye.
Commissioner Colkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz. Do I get a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 24-027, approving time extension number E24-0001, and extending conditional use permit number UP 21-0003, minor site development permit MS 21-0129, and tree removal permit DR 21-0031 for 18 months until February 14, 2026, subject to the findings and conditions of approval.
Thank you for the motion, Commissioner Galang. Do I hear a second?
I'll
from-
second.
From Commissioner Kong. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Kong,
Aye.
Commissioner Colkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta.
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang.
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz. So we move on to our next item. Item 8-2, the Little Gym Group Instruction Use. And of course, our planner, Christina, you have another presentation. Thank you so much.
Hello again, and thank you again. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and members of the public. Christina Fung, Senior Planner with the city. As mentioned, the item before you is a request for a new group instruction use at 139 Ranch Drive. Next slide, please. The applicant, Joshua Monzon of KK of Silicon Valley, doing business as a Little Gym of Milpitas, plans to open a children's gymnastic facility with instructor-led classes within an existing 2,990 square foot vacant commercial space at 139 Ranch Drive, which is located within the McCarthy Ranch Marketplace. The company was originally founded in Seattle, Washington in 1976, and now has gyms operating in 40 states and 28 countries. The classes are formed with the intent of providing children with programmed gymnastic classes to build motor, emotional, intellectual, and social skills. Next slide, please. The proposed use would operate within a vacated tenant space previously occupied by the Wells Fargo Bank at 139 Ranch Drive in the northern portion of the marketplace, and would be next to the Togo Sandwich Suite. Next slide, please. The property is zoned general commercial C2 with a recreation and entertainment overlay. The RE overlay zoning district is intended to be a special district to allow a unique mix of indoor and outdoor recreation and entertainment uses that attract patrons from the surrounding region. The red properties in this map allow commercial uses. Group instruction uses are conditionally permitted in the recreation and entertainment overlay. Next slide, please. And this image shows the proposed floor plan. If the conditional use permit is approved by the Planning Commission, the applicant will apply for building permits for various interior tenant improvements and an exterior wall sign. Apart from the new wall sign above the exterior entrance, there will be no additional floor area or other exterior modifications to the existing space. The scope of work for the interior TI includes the demolition of the existing interior partition walls and kitchenette, the installation of new partitions, paint and finishes, upgrades to mechanical systems, new LED lighting fixtures, and a new kitchenette and restroom upgrades and fixtures. The interior improvements will divide the space into 3 main areas, including the entrance lobby with a check-in desk, the main gym for classes and activities, and a smaller multi-purpose activity space. Overall, there will be 1 lobby, a multi-purpose room, a main gym area, 2 utility rooms, and 2 bathrooms. The main gym area will include a new large rubber red mat, cantilever bars, training bars, parallel bars, and a beam. Next slide, please. And this is a preliminary 3D rendering of the floor plan and interior layout of the proposed location in Milpitas. With these colored renderings, you can see more of the children's gymnastics equipment in the main gym area. Next slide, please. In regards to the operations and programming, the Little Gym of Milpitas will include instructor-led classes for children ranging from 4 months to 12 years old. Hours of operation are anticipated to be weekdays 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and weekdays from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. with a maximum occupancy of 74 people at any one time. The Little Gym has a total of 7 various class programs offered, including 4 core ones listed on the slide. They include the Teacher and Child program, which targets the youngest kids at 4 months to 3 years old, with 45-minute beginner classes with parents participating with their child and exploring early skills. The second core program is the preschool and kindergarten gymnastic classes for ages 3 to 6 years old. They're about an hour long and progressive physical development program. The third is grade school gymnastics for kids 6 to 12 years old and includes beginner, intermediate, and advanced classes for tumbling, vault, bar, and beam. The fourth involves dance classes for ages 3 to 12 in 30-minute classes combining ballet, tap, creative movement, and gymnastics to further build skills and strength. Next slide, please. There are 3 other class programs offered by the Little Gym, which include birthday parties offered from 1 to 12 years old, which can be hosted on weekend afternoons and are supervised by staff and parents, including music, movement, and games. There's also Parent Survival Night for ages 3 to 12 years old, usually held on select Friday and or Saturday evenings. The third offering is summer and holiday camps for ages 3 to 12 years old, and are offered with specially developed camp curriculum combining fitness, gymnastics, and play with arts and crafts. On average, for all of the 7 class options, they range from 10 to 15 children. Some classes during non-peak times may have 4 to 6 children, and other classes may have a maximum enrollment of 18 to 21 children. All of these classes will be conducted indoors within the tenant space and do not include any outdoor activities. The applicant anticipates the minimum number of staff working at one time to be 4 to 6, 4 and 6 or more staff members at peak times. The image below is from another Little Gym location to show additional perspective on how the interior design and color scheme for the location in Milpitas will be, as they also must comply with the company standard colors with vibrant bold colors, mostly in shades of blue, purple, green, and red. Next slide, please. The planning department believes the project meets the conditional use permit findings, which includes how the use will not be detrimental or injurious to property improvements in the vicinity, nor to public health, safety, and general welfare, as well as being consistent with the Milpitas general plan and zoning ordinance. The findings can be found in both the staff report and resolution. The project will provide family-friendly recreation and a new group instruction use option, attracting families and youth to the shopping center. This offers a diverse range of group recreation and physical exercise classes that can enhance the overall appeal of the shopping center. Furthermore, all program classes will occur indoors within the suites and will not impact the outdoor portions of the private property or any of the public properties or right-of-ways. In addition, the planning department worked with our police department team to condition the project in a manner that will allow the group instruction use to operate in a safe and secure manner. The police conditions of approval are included in the resolution as conditions number 22 through 31. The applicant has agreed to these preliminary conditions of approval via email on July 18th this year. Other reviewing departments also provided conditions of approval to the project that are included in the resolution. Next slide, please. A notice was placed in the Milpitas Post, City Hall, and the city's website in accordance with local and state public noticing requirements. And a sign was also placed outside the window of the building. The notice was also posted City Hall, city's website. There's also postcards sent out informing residents and property owners within 1,000 feet of the project site. And as of this evening, the department has not received any comments on the proposed use. Next slide, please. The project is exempt from CEQA per CEQA guidelines section 15301 and 15183. The proposed use will occupy an existing building suite where a bank previously operated and will not include any expansion of the building. Furthermore, the proposed use is consistent with the community plan, also known as the general plan and zoning, since the proposed group instruction use for children's gymnastics is within the existing commercial shopping center. Next slide, please. And in closing, staff recommends the Planning Commission open the public hearing to receive comments, move to close the public hearing, consider the exemptions in accordance with CEQA, and adopt resolution number 24-026, approving conditional use permit number UP 24-0005, subject to the findings and conditions of approval. This concludes staff summary of the project, and I'm happy to answer any questions. The applicant team is also there to present, including Joshua Monzon, the president and owner of the Little G Gym of Milpitas, who is there in person, and virtually is Hillary Dang, the gym director and co-owner of this gym. And also virtually is Dan Rhodes, the project architect for the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Planner Christina. And we have somebody here, the presenter too, the applicant. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Josh. Hey, good evening, everyone, and thank you to the Milpitas Planning Commission and Christina for all your support the last few months as we go through the CUP process. Yeah, I'm here to represent, my wife, Hillary. She's virtual. I have Dan, our architect, and Kira, who's our construction consultant, virtually as well, for any questions later. Next slide, please. So yeah, my wife and I, we love children our whole lives. And as first-time entrepreneurs, like we are really excited to, bring this business to this community that will have positive impact to lives of children. As parents ourselves, we understand the importance of having, different enriching activities and programs that support our children's development and growth. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so a little bit about our background. So I'm an engineering leader. So I have experience building teams, growing them, while delivering quality results for our clients. Okay. Yeah, when I was a bit younger, I did dabble in a lot of, I taught a lot of kids, sports camps, science, math, chess. So I do know that energy and enthusiasm you need to bring to while you engage with children at different ages. My wife, she was an analyst at a private equity firm. She works at the operations division, and she brings lots of experience, running teams, fiscal management, and also process improvements. She has a lot of experience with little kids, having helped raise her, brother, cousins, nephews, and nieces when they were younger. She also is a kid magnet. Her cheerful personality, I've seen that firsthand while she interacts with her friends and acquaintances' kids. Next slide, please. So a little bit about our inspiration. So actually we discovered, please one more. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we discovered the Little Gym last year when we were, researching activities for our son. And, there's not a lot, we realized there's not a lot of options like under 3 years old, and the Little Gym is one of them. So we talked to our friends and we heard nothing but good things about the Little Gym. And as it turns out, that time we're also looking for business opportunities. So, we took a chance to speak with the franchise leadership. And we came away from that conversation like strongly feeling that this is a business that we want to bring to this community. And I just want to add that we're really committed to this to bring for a place for our son to play in, to learn new things, and also to all the children in this community. So next slide, please. Which brings me to say that Milpitas is a perfect location for the Little Gym. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the Bay Area. He has a lot of young children within our age groups that's served by our programs, 4 months to 12 years old. And there is a lot of demand from our market research for physical programs that we feel we can meet that demand. Also, on a personal note, we love Milpitas. We live in the neighboring town of San Jose, but we are here a lot to visit our friends, families. We shop here. I play basketball here on Thursdays in the summer. And, we just really love this city and we want to be a part of making it more, I guess, modern, some of these, and just bring a lot of different options to the city. Also noticed when we were doing our research, there used to be a Little Gym here. We're not related to the previous operators. So we just really want to bring this back to the community. Next slide, please. All right, so just a little tidbit about the Little Gym. I think Christina touched on some of these, so I'm gonna gloss over this. The brand has been trusted by parents for over almost 50 years. And really it's, not a lot of brands last that long. And, I'd say the secret sauce is really with our curriculum and our programs. So our programs are based on the American Association of Pediatric Milestones, which ensures that kids are growing and learning skills that are age appropriate and meet, I guess, the standards of the AIP. It's been since its inception in 1976. There's been over 500 locations worldwide, and touched the millions of lives of children throughout the world. Next slide, please. Lastly, also another reason why the Little Gym has been around for this long is because a lot of the owners have embodied the mission vision of its original founder, Robin West. And our vision is the same. We want to provide a safe and welcoming space for children can have fun while building motor, social, cognitive, and emotional skills. So we also want to provide an environment where children strive for success, but in a nurturing, positive and judgment-free, where they get a lot of praise and positive reinforcement from their instructors and teachers. And lastly, we want the little gym not to be a place where we can build long-lasting relationships with our community, with parents, teachers, other business owners, and and of course the children themselves, right? So my hope is that the gym will be a cherished part of these children's childhood, and one day in the future, like share that to children of their own. Yeah, next slide. With that, I just want to say that thank you again for giving us the opportunity to present and talk about our business, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Joss and Hillary. Thank you also for considering Milpitas as one of your homes in business. Thank you. And definitely, I am also happy that you want to impact the next generation, the youth, which is very important. And that's very good. Commissioners, any questions for Planner Christina or Joss here?
I have one. I really like the idea of what you guys are doing, and thanks for bringing it here. I'm just kind of curious, McCarthy Ranches, there's not a lot of residential, it's not a neighborhood like that. Was there a reason you chose there as opposed to somewhere closer to a residential neighborhood? Just curiosity.
Yeah, sure. Real estate is tight in these years, right? So there's actually, we've just considered two sites, actually three, and just two. One was in Town Center and one in McCarthy Ranch. We chose McCarthy Ranch because there's a lot more parking versus the Town Center, which is a lot busier. So with kids like coming back and forth, we felt that McCarthy Ranch would be a better place for that. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Calkins.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Commissioner Gupta.
So it's kind of unique concept. I wasn't aware of that before, that you already have centers all over the world. So one question is, you said that 74 persons at any one point in time. So this is like a typical gym. So the number of people who will enroll or number of kids who will enroll will be, I guess, many times more than that.
So that 74 is actually like I'd say the extreme situation where you would have, because our birthday parties are up to 30 kids maximum. So including like one parent and staff. So that's when you start approaching that number. But realistically, it's a lot less than that. So our classes will have a maximum of like 18 to 21 kids. And we'll have 4 instructors and then their parents, so that's about 40, 45. And then the other thing we want to consider is that the transition time, we have 15-minute overlap between classes, so there's enough time for like the new set of kids to leave the building and then for the new set of kids to come in.
So that was actually related to my next question. So each kid stays there for about an hour or so?
Yeah, 45 minutes for some classes and an hour for some. Yeah.
So these kids, so if they're coming to you during the day, that means they're probably not enrolled in any preschool. Preschool runs the whole day. So
Yeah.
how does that work? I mean, in terms of
Yeah,
taking
so
kids away from a preschool and they come to you for an hour and commute time, so they lose a couple of hours. So won't that affect their preschool activities in a preschool?
So we do offer like different schedules. So in the morning, it's mostly a lot of parent-child classes. And in the afternoon is so usually in the middle part of the day, that's where we're gonna host camps. And then around 3 or 4, when students come out of school, that's when we start having all of these afternoon classes. And then we have morning classes up to like 11, but that's kind of more of the parent-child classes. And in the afternoon is more when we have the pre-K and kindergarten and grade school classes.
So is there an overlap between the preschool activities? Won't they cover pretty much most of the same activities?
Well, they don't have a lot of the equipment we have, first of all. So our curriculum is gymnastics based. So yeah, I'm sure there's physical education, but we're like really specialized and centered our curriculum around gymnastics. Yeah, there are some overlaps, but we believe that we have some distinction from them.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Gupta. Commissioner Gala?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Josh,
Yeah.
if I bring 2 of my kids from ages 2, 3, okay, you said the maximum is 74 per day, right?
Yeah.
Ages from 4 months to 12 years old. Okay. Is there any? Are you going to mix them at the same time
No.
together, or do you have any cubicle or separate room for, let's say, from 3 to 5, 6 to 9 years old?
Yeah, so let me explain a little bit about how our classes work. So our classes are age appropriate. So meaning that we actually have a set of classes for babies like 4 to 14 months. And then we have another group with 14 months to 30 months. And then we have 30 to 36. So definitely we break the classes into different age groups so that, you don't have like a 3-year-old interacting with a 4-month-old at any given point in time. So yeah.
Yeah, for 74, how many staff in that facility?
Yeah, so that's the 74. I guess noted there are half of those are parents too. So
So parents are required inside the facility.
yes, for parent-child classes, the parent has to be with a child, and we have a staff instructing them. For ages 3 to 6, the parents are outside of the the main gym, but they're with the lobby, so they can sit and watch their kids. But they should be there in the facility, watching.
Okay, in case of emergency, do you have how do you address, like, for example, kids fell on the floor, something broken arms, how do you address that?
Yeah, so our staff is going to be trained in first aid. We have somebody who's at all times like trained in CPR.
Are you and your wife are certified, or
Yeah, we plan to be. Yes.
when you plan to be, you're not certified to do that?
Well, we took some classes for infant and childcare. We need to be fully certified for more than that as part of this. Yes, we plan to be though. Before we operate. Yes.
How about your equipment? Do we have a agency that can check your whatever inside if it is safe to?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
our equipment is made by a manufacturer, and they will do all the installation. So it's the manufacturer installs the equipment for all the little gyms across the country, and also other gymnastic equipment for other for other companies.
Who will certify that if it is safe to?
So
But your-
they will. I mean, the manufacturer will send their people to certify it. But I guess we're willing to work with the building department too, if that's something that we should consider too as well.
Oh, can I interject?
Yes.
Commissioner Galang?
Yeah.
With Joss here at the same line, I think because this is a franchise, I think the franchise also will have to review all of that.
Yeah,
correct?
we
To
have
make sure-
somebody from the franchise to come in pre-opening to do all inspections.
Correct.
Yeah.
So until you get all of that, then of course you're gonna work on your licensing, correct?
Yes.
All right,
So
super.
before you operate, you are working your licenses, or you're certified to open this business? How that?
So we're waiting for the permitting the CUP to be approved, and then after that, we're gonna do the construction, and then we're also working for a business license as well.
Okay. CPR, CPR, most of your staff should be certified.
At any given point in time, we will have one person in our staff that's CPR certified.
A day, should be at least one person a day, right?
At any time, at any given
yeah.
time, yes.
Yeah.
So, we have like different part-time staff, but there's always gonna be one of those that's gonna be, at least one, that's gonna be CPR certified. Like certainly me and my wife will be, and also our
You're not certified in CPR yet, right?
Not yet, but
Are you getting before?
we will take classes, yes. We'll get certified before we open, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is parent survival night? I'm just curious about this. Friday, I don't know what.
So yeah, like if so the idea there is that if you want to go for like a date, or certain like Valentine's, like we will offer we offer the gym for like 2 hours, so you can drop your kids while they burn their energy, while you and your partner or your loved ones can take that time to
Okay.
enjoy. So
someone's babysit.
Like a babysitter.
Babysitter, right?
well, yeah, it's but in a class format.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
another
like
extra.
to that
eh,
question.
Go
Hi,
ahead, please.
I like to add to that questions. It's not in the form of a childcare, but it's more so of a class. is a mixed age group. So the lesson plan will be designed appropriately for the age from 3 to 12, if we happen to have all that age. And it's instructor led, is in a form of a class. And every parent survival night, we have a different theme dedicated to that night. I have seen it could be going to space, like or for Summer Olympics is something that geared toward the Olympic theme. And the instructor will be there teaching them throughout the class. It's not like we're just sitting there and watching the kids for the night.
Yeah, tell me about, I think I need to know more about what's a little gym. That means what they do inside that facility. They jump or they tumbling or whatever. What else? What activities they can do?
I mean, a typical little, so the first 5 minutes is like you go in a circle. Everybody introduces themselves. We sing some songs. We introduce the parents, and then after that, we go do some warm up exercises in the red mat. For little kids, like we do this parachute thing where it's like really bright, and then we have balls that they can play with just to kind of get them warmed up. And then once that's finished, we then go into these group circuits. So they go to each equipment where we have staff like assisting kids and teaching them how to use it, spotting them to make sure that they're safe. So that's about like 15 minutes. And then we work on certain skills like tumbling. And so we arrange like different like apparatus in the gym, like foam mats, so that they can tumble depending on their skill level, right? So we have like incline mats so that you can easily tumble, but then when you're advanced, you can remove that mat and you can just directly tumble on the floor. Well, the floor has a mat too, but yes.
Maybe someday one of your kid will be the gold in the Olympic for.
I hope so.
Yeah, like or one of our Filipino got 2 gold, right? Or
We have lots of
Commissioner
medals in the
Gala.
Olympics.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Well, okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. Well,
you.
just think about it. Let all the kids exercise their energy so when they come home to mom or dad, they can sleep, right? Put out all their energy there, right? And then
Exactly,
so
yeah.
when they come home, they're kind of like subdued and tired. So anyway, thank you for that. Any other comments?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Awasti.
Yeah. No,
And
this
then
is
Commissioner
adding to
Kong.
that. Yes, it's very good. At least it takes the kids out of the iPads and they are on the games and when they start exercising, they go less on their iPads and they're tired to do that also.
Mhm.
And secondly, my second question was, are you going to run the gym as your franchisor wants it, or they give you a leeway to run things on your own according to location?
We have just a small leeway, but all the curriculum is based on the franchisors, because it's been working for the last 50 years. So with just a little subtle modification, but yeah, we'll be running the curriculum as specified by our franchisor. But obviously, like we can, do like some of the, we can design the gym just a little bit, like decorate it a little bit, maybe offer like a theme, like say maybe you mentioned that there is the Indian Independence Day, like we'll decorate it, maybe if it's a Diwali theme or a Halloween theme. So we do have some discretion to like decorate the gym and provide different themes for some of our activities depending on like the season.
And so the business license or the business insurance.
Yes.
Is it something, because you must have some good insurance when you're working with kids. Is this something which the franchisor has?
Yes. We're
An
using
umbrella policy or something?
Yes, we are using the franchisor's preferred insurance provider, Hotchkiss Insurance. So they insure all the little gyms here in this country. So
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Kong, please.
Thank you. I just want to preface that my children had used my little gym when they were toddlers. So I was familiar with the concept. However, what's new is I never realized that you guys also serve older kids all the way up to 12. And I do see here in the report, you'll be offering tumbling, vault, beam, and bars. And to me, it kind of feels like for older kids who are, up to 12 years old, would the equipment be big enough to support that age group? And will the ceiling height be adequate in like a regular retail store like this? To
Yes.
support, like if they're doing vaults and all those things, there is quite a bit of height that they need.
Yeah, it's
right?
not gonna be the vault that you see like Simone Biles do. It's a much smaller vault, so we don't, they won't spring and hit their head. But yeah, when we were doing our real estate search, like we follow the franchise's minimum height. So definitely, it's all within like the franchise's specs. And yeah, and our equipment can handle kids. It can handle adults. Like I've tried and swung in those beams, very, very sturdy. So they use it for like actual like gymnastics, like actually competitive gymnastics gyms across the country.
So do you have different set of equipments for the younger age compared to the 12-year-olds? I mean, because the size difference between those kids are quite drastic.
Right, that's right. It's the same equipment, but they have different ways that you can configure them to be age appropriate, right? So that, for instance, you just kind of lower some of the rings so that even if the kids like let go of it, like because sometimes they're not gonna like hurt themselves because the distance is short. So yeah, it's the same equipment, but it will be configured every class for the age group of the students there.
Okay, all right. And the second question I have is, with the parent survival night, it's going up to almost 3 hours of duration. So do you plan on serving food or beverage to the students in those programs? And if yes, is a kitchen included in the design? Because I don't see it in the floor plan.
There should be a small like sink. There will be a fridge. So we, we only plan to serve food for birthday parties. And that's only if they avail of our programs. But
I
But
think I
really-
can take over for this question because Josh is not. I'm the one who will be running hands on with the gym. So I guess I can give you a better details. We do not provide food for camp. The kids are more than welcome to bring food, and of course it'll be allergy friendly. No nuts, and there are guidelines around that, but whoever going to camp will bring their own food, and we have a fridge for them to store their food. Touching on the points of the birthday parties, the birthday host, the parents of the birthday child will be bringing their own food. So we do not provide any food.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And then last question is, the Milpitas did, like you mentioned, had a My Little Gym before. That's where my son used to go. Do you know from the franchisor, master franchisor, as to why they discontinued that operation? Did they provide you with that feedback so that way you can, understand what was not working for them that you could incorporate into your plan and, be successful? Because we want you to be successful.
Yes, sure. Yeah, we did ask them about it. The brand itself was acquired by by Unleashed Brands like in 2021. So they actually don't have a lot of history, but from what they gather is that it's a much smaller facility and it's just not big enough to like support a lot of the programs that that the little gym ideally a typical little gym should have. That's all we heard about it. So
Okay, I think it makes sense because my recollection was they only catered to like really young age group, like below 5 at the time. So
okay.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Kong. Josh, so do you know what year they closed up?
I think it's 2012. It's 12 years ago. That's what I saw like where the FBN what should we call it expired at that point. So I don't know. Is that
I
the right
see.
answer?
No,
I just know
no,
when it
Just wondering, yeah.
yeah.
So one last question would be, from me, would be basically, what was I gonna ask? Would somehow the residents may want to know if it could be open, like a drop-in open for families or residents from Milpitas? If they can like maybe use a small area for a birthday party? Or you have to be registered?
You don't have to be registered to host a party. But if you're a registered member, you get some discounts. but
I
you can use it as a resident, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Joss and Hillary, any other questions,
You
Commissioner?
said member, you have to be a member before you,
Yeah,
use-
we're a member for to join our classes, we are a membership-based program.
is there a fee for that?
Yes.
How- Do you, can you tell us how much?
We're still working on the actual pricing, but it's, you know, our plan is to really look at the different activities, like monthly subscription activities around to do a competitive analysis. So Hillary is doing that right now.
So you're not open on Sunday, correct? Are you open on Sunday?
We are open on Sundays, Saturday, Sunday, like we plan to be open 7 days.
To start out will be, I'm sorry, my son is just screaming in the background. Um, to start out, we'll be open 5 days a week, and then as we get more membership, we'll gear toward opening 7 days a week. So that's the goal for us. But we'll start out with 5 days a week.
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you, Joshua. Yes, that's great. That's great to know. Any other questions before I open it to public hearing? No other questions? All right, therefore, I'd like to open the next few minutes if there's any comments from the public. There seems to be none. So can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
A motion from Commissioner Awasti, second from
I second.
Commissioner Gupta. Thank you. Vote, please.
Commissioner Kong,
Aye.
Commissioner Culkins, Commissioner Gupta, Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz. I would like to say to the commissioners and also I saw a memorandum from Lieutenant Jameson, and thank you. He had also mentioned that he had reviewed the plans for Little Gym of Milpitas. The nice thing about it here is based on his review, he said that they can continue delivering professional and responsive police service with limited suggestions, with no significant changes in the area. They will, however, continue to input with all safety and security measures before issuing this permit. So we know our children will be safe in this particular one. And that is from the MPD. Thank you, MPD, for that. And Lieutenant Jemison, I just wanted to add that before we make a motion to approve. Maybe I'd like to make a motion then to adopt resolution number 24-026, approving conditional use permit number UP 24-0005, subject to the findings and conditions of approval. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you. Commissioner Awasti for the second. Vote, please.
Commissioner Kong. Oh, she said aye. Commissioner Culkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much. Looking forward.
thank you. Thank you also to Hillary. Yes.
Yeah, to Hillary too. I mean,
Yes.
she used to.
She's
chip
the
in.
one who's going to,
Yeah, she was the one who used to chip in. I felt like home.
all right, for our next item for the new business, right? Yes. So at this time, give me a few seconds. My paper, too many papers here were. All right. So at this time, commissioners, and at this last item that we have for tonight, we will be appointing a new alternate member for the zoning advisory group to replace our dear Bill Chuan. He's running for council, so he's resigning from his other positions in the city. And just wanted to thank him for his services when he was with us with our planning commission. Now, there is going to be a process which will be, I'll explain that, right? I will explain it.
Yes.
Okay.
You can explain the process.
So I will explain the process among the commissioners here. I and Commissioner Awasti cannot be nominated. So you will have to nominate among yourselves. We will call, we will ask for the nomination and we will vote upon that. If there will be another one who's going to be nominated, we will take a vote. So if we have majority, that's fine. If we don't, then we go back to the item and call the item again and start. So in the nomination process, you will make your nomination and then the nominee, what's that? Non-nominee will have to say, I accept or decline. You got it? So at this time, I would like, there are 5 of you, you're all present. So I will have to basically.
Chair, can we have a presentation from staff to explain the responsibilities of this position so that the nominees, so people know if they're nominating themselves or others, what they're getting themselves in for?
Yes, thank you. That's good. So we know our responsibility and accountability and the dates. I think we're scheduled to be
I have
meeting.
a question here. Since I cannot be nominated, but can I nominate somebody?
Yes, anyone is allowed to nominate any commissioner. There's only certain commissioners who are eligible for a nomination.
Thank you.
So I'll call the planning staff to please explain.
Oh, hello again. You're Christina Fung, Senior Planner of the city. I am assisting the main project manager, Holly Pearson, on this project. Just a little bit about it. I'm sure as you all may know, the city is undergoing its comprehensive zoning update project, and right now it's in phase 2. I think you're all on board and at the public hearings for the various study sessions and recommendation hearings for the phase 1 of this effort, which was approved by the city council on June 18th and has been in effect since July 18th. And I think you guys have also received briefings in the past. And as part of this comprehensive zoning update project, it's typical when preparing these type of long-range planning projects that we assemble some subcommittees as a way to get direct feedback and insight from local citizens in the community and to increase public outreach. And one of these subcommittees is what we call the Zoning Advisory Group, which has the acronym nickname of ZAG for us. So currently the ZAG is made of a mix of citizens that are already in other city commission boards. And so this group has met a few times over the past 1.5 years or so. And there's about 2 ZAG meetings left as part of the second, and this is the last phase of the update project. These are anticipated to be held on the evenings of September 26th and December 3rd. They usually start around 6 p.m. And as mentioned, the 2 current PC members are Commissioners Abana and Awasti. And yes, Bill Chuan, who is a former alternate member, has resigned. So now we need to reappoint a new alternate member. So in the event that, Mercedes or Deepak cannot attend, then this alternate member would attend the meeting instead. We don't know the tentative agendas yet for that meeting, for those meetings, but we do provide updates and share some drafts and ask for some feedback from members of the ZAG on various topics and efforts. And as mentioned, we usually start them at 6 p.m. And they last about 1 to 2 hours. And as noted, they are slated to be on September 26th and December 3rd. And so once again, this is just to appoint an alternate member in the case that the other 2 are unable to attend. And would Commissioner Abane like to begin the procedures?
Thank you. Thank you, planning. Christina, Planner Christina. Okay, so now we will do the nomination. We will make your nomination, please, commissioners.
Can I nominate Commissioner Gupta?
Thank you, Commissioner Awasti, Commissioner Gupta. Any other nomination?
Ask for
You have to see if you get to accept.
Yeah, I will accept the challenge.
All right.
You got to get in the ring.
Any other nomination? Or,
I make a motion to close the nomination.
Do we need two persons?
no,
Just
unless any of the commissioners would like to make a comment, he accepted. So no other comments? So could we take a vote? Yes,
Sorry, dude.
We close it.
Technically, we need to ask,
the public.
we need to ask for public comment before we move on to a motion to appoint.
There being no public comments and, yes. Yeah, come on, Ron and Sammy. We need, all right, then having no public comments, no other discussions from the commissioners, then let's call a vote. Right, Commissioner?
Right, you need a motion and a second to call a vote.
Yeah, I need a motion to call a vote and a second.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Gupta to this new position.
Thank you for that motion. Commissioner Cockings, I need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Vice Chair Medina Aspi. Roll call.
Commissioner Kong,
Aye.
Commissioner Colkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang.
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz. Congratulations. Well, I wanted to ask the commissioners to give a round of applause to our city staff, our planning and building also, who has put so much time into all these presentations, and they really do their best to expedite the processes of all of these things that we are discussing. But above all, I'd like that we give our two IT persons here, thanking them for giving their time and also helping improve our system in the chamber. Thank you so much. That's Ron and Sammy. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate for hosting us here, getting this place for us. It's still very conducive and we're very happy. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. So I have to read this declaration, I guess. Any person aggrieved by any final decision of any board, commission, or department head of the city of Milpitas may appeal the decision to the city council by filing a written notice of the appeal with the city clerk within 12 calendar days of the date of the said decision and paying the required fee. This time limit will be strictly enforced. Do I have a motion to adjourn? From Commissioner Awasti?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Yes, thank you.
I'll
And
second that.
seconded by Commissioner Cockins. This meeting is adjourned. The- What?
Commissioner
Oh,
Kong?
I'm sorry, vote. I'm ready to go.
Aye.
Commissioner Colkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Attorney.
Liz, can we? Next time?